Good day to our viewers and welcome to the National Arts Council's Youth Month Roundtable discussion. My name is Siba Balwe and I'm a Marketing and Communications Officer at the NAC. This discussion aims to celebrate Youth Month by discussing creative futures, building sustainable careers in South Africa's arts and culture sector. This dialogue and others like it illustrates the mandate of the National Arts Council, which are to provide and encourage the provision of opportunities for persons to practice the arts. And just to note, the arts at the National Arts Council refers to the following disciplines: craft, dance, literature, multidiscipline, music, theatre, and visual arts. Secondly, to promote the appreciation, understanding, and enjoyment of the arts, to promote the general application of the arts in the community, to foster the expression of national identity and consciousness by means of the arts, to uphold and promote the right of any person to freedom in the practice of the arts, to give the historically disadvantaged such additional help and resources as are required to give them greater access to the arts, to address historical imbalances in the provision of infrastructure for the promotion of the arts, to promote and facilitate national and international liaison between individuals and institutions in respect of the arts, and finally, to develop and promote the arts and to encourage excellence regarding these. The National Arts Council's function is to support individuals, organizations, and institutions. This support includes, but is not limited to, financial support, advice, and information to any person, organization, or institute. Also, please be aware that the National Arts Council can determine which field of the arts takes preference for the purpose of support. Follow our social media platforms for more information on upcoming funding calls and guidelines so you can take the opportunity to submit your funding application, your project funding applications. Also, regularly check our platforms for more information on our funding guidelines as they may differ per call. Before we get into the dialogue, I'd like to announce some house rules. All speakers and participants are kindly to remain on mute when not speaking. Participants are welcome to send any questions or comments through the chat on Zoom or on our Facebook Live session. And there will be a Q&A session towards the end of the discussion. Participants may ask a question by raising their hand to be allowed to speak. And any NAC-related questions can be directed to the National Arts Council itself by contacting 011-010-8886 or by sending us a direct message on our social media platforms. With that being said, it's going to be a very fruitful conversation. I look forward to it and let us engage. Over to you, Nolutando.
Thank you very much, Siba. Welcome, everyone. Good morning to our audience as well as our panelists this wonderful morning. I hope you're comfortable and I hope you're ready to, take in some insight. I'd like to say thank you to the National Arts Council for making this possible. These are very important conversations to have, especially this Youth Month, knowing that, we have a youth that is hungry for opportunity and learning and so forth. Before I introduce my esteemed panelists, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Nolutando Chabalala, also known as the Advocate of Self-Love, and I teach individuals and corporate teams to lead their lives greatly using the energy of self-love. Just a little bit of a background about myself. I was in the digital distribution industry for about 11 years, working for a company which did very well in the distribution of content space, namely Content Connect Africa. However, after 11 years of making people's dreams come true, I decided it was time to actually follow my own calling, follow my own gift. And that is how the Advocate of Self-Love was born. I teach, I make videos, I'm a speaker as well as an MC. But today I am your facilitator. So I hope you are going to enjoy yourselves and do not be shy to, prepare those questions for our Q&A later. And I'm now going to let our panelists introduce themselves in no particular order, but I'll start with Roscoe. May you please introduce yourself to the audience.
Good morning to everybody streaming. My name is Roscoe Williams, the Program Director and Co-Founder of Read to Rise, a literacy organization working in a lot of under-resourced communities. encouraging children to read, giving them access to brand new books. And yeah, some we're literacy activists working on the ground with the hope that we can inspire thousands of kids to read.
Thank you very much. Absolutely no doubt that there will be some inspirational, insights shared today. Megan, will you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Sure, thank you, Nolatando. My name is Megan van Wyk. I also go by Meg. I am a multidisciplinary theatre maker, a writer, director, producer. I'm also the founder and creative director of Fruity Licks Productions. It is my company under which I do all of my art projects. I do theatre, cabaret, music. I studied musical theatre, and I am passionate about creating art and theatre that impacts social change.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Nombuso, may you please introduce yourself?
Good morning. Hi, everyone. My name is Nombuso Wanda, KZN-based artist. I am an asset-based community development facilitator. I am an assessor. I am a drama coach, curator, cultural producer, and a creative director. I am the founder and CEO of a company called Voices of Different Corners, and I am an advocate for deaf artists. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And last but not least, we have Michael. Michael, may you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Hi, excuse me. Hi. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm also KZN based, Michael James. Roots are in theatre, as a director, writer within that space, and a lot of my life has also kind of moved into the cinema space. So I work between being a theatre practitioner, a writer, as well as a filmmaker, working in across mediums, bringing them together, and also just the company that or the production space that I run. It's called Maverick Resistance, and that's a kind of space in which these mediums they create space for communities to also engage with the work at hand. So very happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you again to all the panelists for making the time. And I know that you're bringing in knowledge and insights that will truly, leave an impact. And I'd like to remind the audience that you are allowed to just send your questions through to our chat feature, and we will pick them up. We will be having a direct Q&A session as well a bit later on during the session. So I have a question that I would really like to start and direct it to all the panelists. I need to ask you, what inspired you to pursue a career in the arts, and what has your journey been like? Because most young people truly have, either a passion or something that they want to pursue. However, sometimes they're not sure if they should because they don't understand or they don't have the why. So I'd like to start again, because this is directed to all the panelists. I'll start with Roscoe.
Perfect. Yeah. So I'm in the literature space. If I grew up in the community of Mitchell's Plain, and if you just think how challenging the community is, and the one thing that was able to save me and my family was being able to read. It helped us to get an education. It helped us to get where we are. So exactly what we were taught, from our parents and from school. We just hope to share that love for reading with children as well. Before Read to Rise, we were in a totally different space, but the literature is definitely something that has grabbed us, and it's very rewarding being able to help so much children to read. I mean, we know it's such a challenge in our country, and that's why we are so passionate about bringing about change in the schools.
Thank you so much. Michael, what has been your journey like, and what really inspired you to pursue your career in the arts?
I recall at a very young age, my first experience walking into a cinema, before the age of streaming or any of these kinds of things. And it was the experience of being not just by myself, but with people whose names perhaps I didn't know, but we were all there and experiencing the same story. And I recall just this strange feeling of it wasn't necessarily escapism, but it was a sense that there was more to life than some of the experiences that I had at the time. And that feeling is something that has stuck with me for the past 30 years, which is, and I've been driven by this desire that if the work that I make can help one young person feel that sense of purpose, that sense of safety, and that sense of that the world is bigger than just this, then the work is work. Doing that kind of work is definitely worth it. So it's that feeling that still drives me today.
That feeling, we got that. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Nombuso, thank you for that, Michael. Nombuso, what has your journey been like, and what inspired you to really pursue your career in the arts?
I'd say let me start with what inspired me to actually join the arts.
Yes.
I'd say that it was the arts itself, the influence of media, having watched dance shows and music shows, that inspired me a lot, and at that point I was really young and also coming from a community whereby dance was culture and music being its backbone. And of course, as we grow up, we sometimes deter because the reality is we also come from families that believe that the arts are not a sustainable career.
Yes.
So fast forward to that, I grow up, I finish high school, going to tertiary, and now I'm studying environmental health, something that I'm not passionate about, but because, like I say, we come from families that believe that the arts are not sustainable. And at that time, I'm studying environmental health, and right at the opposite building of where I'm studying, there's a drama department facility. And half of the time, I wasn't in my classes. I would go there, at the drama department and having to watch these performers, getting into character and just doing what they love. I told myself that I'm actually dropping out and I'm pursuing something that I love, and I've never looked back since, and I'd say that my journey has been like life itself with ups and downs because that is the reality. But I would say that, it has been amazing. It has been wonderful, having that audacity to say that this is what I want to do and actually doing it, so it has been really amazing.
Thank you so much for that, Nombuso. As you said, that your journey has been like life itself, and with its ups and downs, you keep on moving. Megan, I'd love to hear from you. Again, last but not least, what your journey has been like and what inspired you to pursue your career.
So I think, as with many of the other panelists here, I had intervention from a young age. I'm very grateful to my grandmother. She invested in myself and my sister in that way. She took us to drama lessons. And I remember, participating in community theatre and doing Eisteddfod and all of that. But I didn't really consider theatre or the arts as a career path until grade 11. I was 17 and I participated in the Showtime Theatre Awards review, led by producer and theatre critic Bob Evely in then Port Elizabeth, now Gqeberha. And I had this moment where I just realized, oh my gosh, I love doing this. And the thing that really influenced me was the way that I felt empowered to raise my voice through the arts. And I think in the beginning, you really think, oh yes, I'm going to be this famous actress and it's going to be great. And as much as I've had such beautiful successes in my career, the thing that really made me passionate about pursuing the arts seriously was my work with young performers and the difference that you see happening in a child, in a young performer, as they participate, as they grow, as they learn to hear their own voice and believe and trust that they can step forward and be heard.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. So you heard our panelist audience, the reasons or the why, as well as the journey is it varies. Roscoe said that reading, it saved me and my family. Michael says that I just felt like there was more to life. And Nombuso is saying that it was the arts itself that, compelled me. And Megan is mentioning that I felt empowered to raise my voice. There we go. Your why could be anything that moves you. Your why does not have to be like the next person. So I just want to now, get into the fact that we know that in the arts, you obviously have to progress, but there also has to be certain skills that you need to either build your career or your portfolio or whatever it is that you're pursuing. And here I'm going to direct this question to Nombuso, because I know that you've done a lot. You are not only a cultural producer, but you're a creative director, and you've worked with icons such as the late Connie Chiome in the business of acting. What skills would you say are required for one to really be able to progress in the arts sector and to not only make a name for themselves, but to just lead a progressive and productive and profitable career?
Thank you for this question. A really important question, by the way. And with terms of skills, I would say a hybrid skill set, right? And that would be combining artistic talent and entrepreneurship. I'd say that understanding both the arts and the business operations allow you as a creative, to take a project from concept to a profitable reality. So I'd say that going into art administration so that you're able to write your proposals, and able to apply for grants and funding, having that business acumen basically allows sustainability, and of course, networking and creating those strategic partnerships. I can say that those really help a lot. And also, another thing is also identifying critical skills within the creative industry so that we are able to close those gaps.
I love that. You came prepared for this question, I can tell. Thank you so much for those great pointers. Megan, I know that you not only, have, as a South African, have worked in South Africa, but you've also had some global exposure, because at a certain point in time, you were in Hong Kong pursuing, growing your career. What would you say is most probably, what made you stand out, or what made you be able to adapt to being in Hong Kong, and how did you navigate the skills that were required as well as the skills that you actually took from that region back to SA?
Sure. I love this question. Thank you, Nolatando. I think the thing that really carried me was a willingness to be open to anything. Nobody talks about how long it takes to adjust to living in a different country, and the culture shock, it usually takes about like 6 months to really adapt. But I've moved around my whole life, and I've always kind of felt like the outsider. So I was already I think, ready to be willing to absorb something new. And I think it's important in our lives as artists and as arts practitioners to be able to apply that to anything we do, is the willingness to listen and the willingness to not necessarily be right, you know what I mean? But to rather go, what is here for me to be part of, and how can this inform me as well?
Thank you. I really love that point when you mentioned that, what is there for me to be part of? Because I think in all of us, when we pursue an ideal, a vision, a goal, we are always thinking, what can I get? What can I get? But, as it stands in the world, there's a lot that you can actually be a part of and add value to. So I hope the audience really does take that point in, that in anything, you can also ask the question, what is there for me to be a part of? Now, mentorship plays a critical role when it comes to, developing your career as well as growth, especially in the arts sector. So, Roscoe, what I would like to know from you, from the work that you do, it's very clear that you are right at the foundation of mentorship, because you are doing work that enables children to be exposed to reading. How important is this, and how do you actually even do it? Because I know that you have distributed more than 370,000. That's not a small number. So
Yeah.
how important is mentorship?
So how our program works, I have a team of awesome facilitators. So we don't just go to a school and drop off books. We've come up with a character named Oki the Acorn. So all our books is based on Oki the Acorn. Ethel Williams, he's the author. Taryn Locke's the illustrator. So we have designed programs around each and every story. So when we go into the school, our whole aim is to show that reading is fun. So when we go, it's very interactive. We ask questions. We have a poster with flashcards. So we engage with the entire class. We ask them the questions. We then read the story, and it's a fun story. There's different characters in the book. We change our voices. Kids laugh, and it's really, really a fun session. And then at the end of it, each child receives a brand new book. And what's so powerful? It's their book to have. For some children, it's the first time ever owning a book. I mean, it's hard for us to comprehend that, but in the communities we're working in, it is so challenging. So we give them their book to have. At the back of that book, there's questions for them to answer, and these children really treasure these books. For 13 years, we've been working in these communities. So when we walk into the schools, primary schools or high schools, children really have a flashback to the moment when we were there at these schools. And we see the impact of these stories with children at the schools. And I know the literacy problem is it's still bigger, but we are trying to address this issue in communities that are really challenging. So we deliver these books, and we have a whole series about this Oki the Acorn, and it has relevant topics, whether it's about bullying or finding oneself, and choosing friends. It's all topics that is teachers talk about at schools. So we do a lot more than just our reading program. We even have a puppet show. We've converted one of our Oki books into a puppet show. We have no experience of puppeteering, but people reach out to us now. We are now, I don't want to say the professional field, but we are quite skilled up in our puppeteering, and it's all just a way of showing that reading is fun. It's and that is what's so awesome about these books. It's engaging with the kids.
And how do the children receive all the work that you do? Because, like I said, you guys are right at the foundation of mentorship, because it all starts with someone being able to read. How do the children receive the work that you do?
So firstly, like in the community of Mitchell's Plain where we started, when we talk about an author and an illustrator, we're teaching them all these titles. We explain to them that the author also comes from Mitchell's Plain, and sometimes it's mind-boggling for them, because if they look at an author in the curriculum books that they use, that author is not from here, so they will never get to meet that person. So now when we say this guy who's come from Mitchell's Plain, he's studied at 5 of the best universities in the world. It really connects with them, because then, if he looks like me, then there's hope for me also. So when we have people that is genuine and can connect to these communities, these children love us, and you will see the impact at the schools. I feel so bad at times at schools, because the teacher can be doing something, and as soon as they see us, it will disrupt everything, because kids want to high five, they want to fist bump, they want to hug you, because they know that something amazing is about to happen when Read to Rise comes into the schools.
Beautiful stuff. Thank you for sharing that, Roscoe. And, with all the panelists have obviously mentioned their work. It may seem like it's all easy, it's all seamless, but we know that there are challenges in every sector. We know that there are barriers in each and every, vision that one is pursuing. Michael, I'd like to come to you, because I know that you have done a lot of things, beautiful work, to a point of, receiving some global recognition. And can you share what have been some of your biggest barriers and how have you overcome them? Because with the work that you've done, the nominations and the awards, it's quite clear that, you were able to just push forward. And how did you do it? And what are the barriers that you did experience?
Thank you so much. I think that the first thing that I've faced, and I wouldn't just make that about myself. I think across for various artists, there is always a sense that one has one's own personal vision, and I think one of the biggest obstacles is how do you, because that vision lives inside of your head, right? How do you communicate that vision to others, and whether that be to an audience, whether that be to funders, whether that be to people who may assist you with production, et cetera, et cetera. There's always this challenge of being able to communicate your vision, and then from communication, whether whatever media might be in, there's always going to be this need to then collaborate. And I think that's both the beautiful and the difficult thing about any art form, is this need to collaborate with others, and yet still hold the vision, right? And I think that's been one of the more interesting challenges that I've faced, is how as an artist, how do you stick to this vision, which, when it first came to you, you always think that this vision is going to change the world. This is the greatest idea that anyone's ever had. And then you share it with someone, and then, they might pick that apart a bit. And one has to learn, as I said, to then get a sense of collaboration. I think this is where there's a balancing act of, I think, this idea of mentorship and community. But then also, I love what Nombuso said, that the artists, and this has helped me a lot, and sometimes I can go too much on this extreme, but she said that she had the audacity, to do the work that she wanted to do. And I mean, for me personally, I think that's always just been the biggest thing, is I've also felt like an outsider in many spaces. And sometimes it's this, there's this sense that you have to, I know that it's cliche, but it's that cliche thing of saying, if not me, then who, and if not now, then when? And you have that audacity to step up, and then you do find that there are a lot of people that engage and connect with your vision. And then it becomes fun to go, okay, cool. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Let me think of this. Yeah. So I think there's this, something that I've learned as an artist, is that need to balance out that sense of collaboration with your vision, but also the audacity to believe that your vision is unique, and the work that what you have to bring to the table is meaningful. It is going to offer some value to the world. Yeah.
Thank you for that. So if I'm understanding you correctly, you need to just stick to your guns and have the audacity, because the barriers will be there, the challenges will be there, the issues will be there, but stick to what you believe in. And as you mentioned, that Nombuso brought up the audacity. So do I have it correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a film project that that was about a 5 or 6 year process, that's shot here in Durban, that started off as a documentary. It turned into a fictional film, but essentially it started off during COVID. The title of the film is God's Work, and it started off as a kind of engagement with the homeless community during the COVID pandemic. And the reason why I bring that up is because there were at the time, and even now, there's so many conventional and, dare I say, even like stereotypical ways in which an artist may attempt to represent those who live on the margins, and that becomes exploitation, becomes disempowering, and there's certain tropes. And I think the vision is to not do that, and then to stick to what it is that you want to do. As I was saying, why not make something conventional? Why not make something that everyone else is making? And the response is always, no, my vision is different. It's unique. And so stick to your guns. Exactly. Yeah.
I love it. Thank you for that, Michael. But there's another thing that I'd like to know from you, that your international debut documentary, Free Education, which is the story of Bonginkosi Kanyile, premiered in 2018, and it was it won a couple of awards in Florence, Italy. And I know that in the creative space, in the art space, everyone would like to create work that gets recognition, and even better when it gets global recognition. But how do you do that? What process do you follow so that we can share this and, just plant the seed that whenever you create something, you created it as if it's going to win an award. So can you share with us how you were able to get your work to such platforms?
I think I'll say two things. The first one is the first thing is I guess a practical one, and that is to have a sense of longevity of your work, of the bigger picture. I think in a lot of the spaces that I'm in, especially within a lot of younger people coming out of school and people who want to make films, people who want to work in various spaces, there's often just a sense that if I'll just make it, and then and it's just there. And I guess the age of YouTube and such spaces is both positive and negative, but there's a sense of I'll just put it on the internet and it'll just have a life, and that can happen. But a lot of, I think, to work and to have your work recognized or to move around, one does need to have a plan in place. If I make a certain piece of work, I'm already have my eyes set on these 3 festivals or these 3 spaces or these communities or these audiences that I know will specifically resonate with the work. So there is that bit of practical engagement and sense of things. And then the other thing I'll just say, which is more, I guess, of a theoretical or philosophical elements, is also just developing a vocabulary for your work that's broader than just your space. I think that's one thing is like, for example, in cinema or in theater, or particularly in cinema, is a lot of sometimes the teaching young people. The first thing that I challenge them to do is to go and watch this particular film from Sudan, or this particular film from Tibet, or this particular, completely different to what they might see on Netflix, so that they can develop a broader vocabulary for what the language of cinema or the language of theater looks like. And then then suddenly you open your world to create work that can resonate with people in Umlazi, people in Shanghai, people in Boston, and you realize that there's a life that your work can have. So yeah.
I love that. So basically, don't just create for the sake of creating, have longevity, and just think broader, think the whole world, right? And since we are on thinking about, thank you again, Michael. Thank you for that very comprehensive response. Since we are touching on thinking globally, what opportunities can we say digital platforms and technology offer artists and cultural practitioners? Megan, I'll direct that to you. How does technology play its role when it comes to the work that artists and creatives produce?
Thank you, Namatando. I think I was in Hong Kong at the time of the COVID pandemic, and so I didn't experience what people on the ground in South Africa were going through. But something that I perceived in that time was that everyone went online, and people were making shows online and connecting with people from all over the globe through this wonderful platform that we have, where we can put our work here and go, this is what I'm doing. I think it's important for artists to have some kind of digital portfolio where investors and producers can have a look at what you're doing and see how they can contribute to your career. But you also need to be able to package it in a way that it's easy for them to see where they can contribute. On another note, I also kind of feel like I can't speak about the digital age without talking about AI. And I know it's contentious and it's such a nuanced and complex subject, but I think the thing for me as a theatre maker is that I truly do believe that theatre is one of the few places where, you know, in order to experience it fully and truly, you have to be in the space with people, looking into their eyeballs. And it's essentially, as my friends at Spark in the Dark like to say, it's AI proof. So I think there is also a trend where we're going offline, you know, and I think it's important not to forget about that part of our humanity and of our arts creation, because I think the thing that I really want to like take home is that building community, building friendships, building relationships, and I hate to say it, but networking is one of the things that is so crucial. And of course, digital platforms make that even more possible than ever before. But that human factor is the thing that will always take us through. And I think it's the reason why we create art in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Thank you, Megan. So have your digital portfolio ready, have a plan, be there, utilize these platforms. Thank you for that, Megan. You've really left us with some impactful strategies there. Now, Nombuso, I want to bring it to you. I know that you do some work also with the deaf community. And I just want to understand, because, you know, at times there is that sense that, special days or special months such as Youth Day or Youth Month no longer have meaning. They no longer have any sort of direction. What legacy does Youth Day still have for creatives today? But not only just, you know, able people, considering the fact that you also do work with the deaf community. What do you think still holds ground in terms of Youth Day?
Okay. The legacy of Youth Day. I'd say that the narrative has shifted completely. Translating the historical legacy to several key principles and actions for today's creative generation. You know, I'd say that today it represents the hard-won opportunity to narrate our own stories as the youth of 1976 protested against an imposed educational system. Today, this generation is challenging societal norms. Like you said, that now we are doing definitely theatre festival. Who knew that in this age we'd have a deaf theatre festival of this nature? You know, I'd say that today the idea of ownership also is become a big narrative. You know, we are using the arts, design, and digital media to forge new paths, and independent publishing, you know, to tell authentic, localized stories of our own. I'd say that I view the sacrifice made by the youth of 1976 as a baton being passed to us, you know, to now fight for economic liberation and cultural expression, you know, turning ancestry into economic activism.
I love it. Thank you very much. You always just come very sharp with those responses. But it's truly incredible that you mentioned, you know, the Deaf Festival, because so many of us, when we think of, you know, celebration, commemorating, or remembering, we only think of ourselves, not realizing that there is a community out there that feels either left behind or that does not know what is going on because of certain limitations. So absolutely wonderful. And I think that, you know, to the audience, please take heart, or take this with you, that sometimes it's truly just about, you know, adding value to those that feel either left out, or to those that, you know, feel marginalized or sidelined. I know that entrepreneurship, because I am an entrepreneur myself, entrepreneurship is increasingly becoming a necessity within the creative industry. So how can young artists develop sustainable business models around their work? And this could be to any panelist who would like to take this one. How do we build sustainable businesses in the creative sector? Okay, if no one will take it, I'll be the teacher.
Let me.
And no,
I'd like to
okay, yes.
just to say something. Because I like the idea. I love actually the idea of the business and arts collaborating. You know, so I'd say that what would help most artists, especially emerging artists, would be to engage in incubator programs.
Yes.
Incubator programs that target training on bridging the gap between the arts and the business. I know that Business Arts in South Africa, BASA, currently does a project like that. And also they also fund proposals like that. If you have maybe a cultural project that you'd like to do, you know, so I think that being part of those programs will actually help a lot. And also, I think that this training will also be able to equip artists, you know, with skills in financial literacy, you know, how to write proposals and being able to do your elevator pitches, you know, and market research, you know. And I would also say it's also about building those strategic partnerships to expand your reach as an artist and look for opportunities in cross promotions.
Yes. Basically, be proactive. That's what I'm getting from you, Nombuso. Be proactive and get involved.
No, Lutando, can I add to that?
Yeah, go for it.
I think an important thing about it, and something that I'm experiencing in my own life as well, is that as much as you can do it alone, find ways in which you can delegate tasks. Like I think with I'm mostly here because I was one of the recipients of the Presidential Employment Stimulus Program 6, and something that I realized through the whole process of like putting up a proposal, setting up a budget, getting it and doing the project was that I was so used to doing everything by myself because I had to, solo show, we're writing, we're directing, we're producing, we're doing all the things. And suddenly there was budget for me not to have to do that. And I had to learn how to go, okay, I don't have to do this alone. How do I work more in community with other people? And I think it's important to be able to know people who have skills that you don't have. Because as an artist, I think a lot of us, and as Nombuso was saying, you have to do the market research, and you have to, do those incubator programs to educate yourself, and in order to be able to be a full-rounded artist who is not only an artist but also an entrepreneur.
I get it. So delegate tasks and work with those that actually have greater or better skills. And I know sometimes there is that fear of, oh, when I put other people on, they are going to outshine me. They are going to, do better than me. But when you work with the best that you can possibly work with, it elevates the quality of your work. So I got that. Access to resources is definitely a challenge. I mean, we hear a lot of young people always complaining that, there isn't access to resources, there isn't, access to funding and all those things. Roscoe, as someone who, is working with material, by material, I mean that the books that you distribute to the children are not cheap, they're not free. You don't just, pick them up. There is a funnel that you obviously, manage to get through to those books. Can you take us through how you have either positioned yourself or are able to overcome either lack of resources or anything that wants to hold you back from doing your work?
So yeah, so firstly, books are extremely expensive. I think that's one of the reasons why children are not reading or parents can't buy books because of the price of books. And when we started, we wanted to give children South African author written books, and that's what our aim was. And when we looked at how expensive it is, this encouraged Ethel then to write his own children's book. And that's how then he wrote his own book. We found an awesome printer that is also community based, and it's because of them that the great partnership we have, we're able to then come in at a quite a low price, and that's what the funders love. So the access to our books, awesome printers printed it, and like I said, we've distributed so many of these books, and yeah, it's very sad that the access to the actual material is so difficult for kids or people, but we are fortunate to partner with some other publishers that do also supply us of their own books, which we then distribute for free to the thousands of kids that we work with in the communities.
Thank you. I got that. So, if I'm understanding you correctly, because of your credibility and your commitment to the cause of the work that you're doing, you were then able to attract a partnership that somehow made things, a bit easy in terms of costings, funding, etc. So I think that's something to really take away, that yes, at times we know the challenges will be there, the funding, etc., etc. But I think if you then, commit to maintaining good quality work, ethical work, you will attract partnerships that can somehow alleviate the pressure. Michael, any input on the
Yeah.
resource part?
The one thing that came to mind, that's something that I really hold dear, is this sense that as an artist, one has to consistently be ready to problem solve. And within I would go as far as to say that's pretty much all we do, is we constantly, if you're on a film set, if you're at if you're working with actors, you're constantly faced with an obstacle, and that obstacle might be the lack of resources, it might be a lack of funding, and you have to problem solve. I'll give one example. The documentary that you mentioned earlier, which was Free Education, and that story was, the context was the Fallist movement, so 2015, 2016, and it was it was a documentary piece with a lot of other work, but surrounding that space. And I just remember really struggling to find, as you're saying, partnership, because the space was quite volatile to actually get the work going. And one has to just think on one's feet. And I remember just thinking and acknowledging, because I was also part of that space as an activist as well, that a group that was always present there was the clergy. There was a lot of the Catholic Church, that these, they were always there. And so I approached them, and essentially the partnership began of going, okay, can we create this work in partnership with you, because you guys are there, you guys actually have resources. And it was a problem solving that happened on the spot that actually allowed that film to be made, not just financially, but just also just in the support of access to certain equipment or people. But the reason why I bring that up is because it was, most of the doors were kind of shut in our faces. And then it was kind of thinking, okay, but who is still here? And I think as an artist, you have to constantly think like that. Who is actually showing up within your space? And then you've got to figure out, okay, how does one use that kind of partnership? How does one create that kind of partnership with those people? So that problem solving is often a massive tool.
Thank you for that. The one thing that I am grasping from all of the panelists when it comes to handling, either lack of resource or funding, is that yes, create or really be true and be committed to your art, but then handle everything like a business person, handle, everything like a business person would. Look for those partnerships, be a problem solver, go out there and research, as Nombuso said, how to get into programs that will take your work from a certain level to the next level. And I think that's a really great takeaway, that even though we are in the arts, we are in the creative space, we are in the sports space, there has to be an element of, business that we apply. So I know that we will be doing our Q&A in just about 20 minutes. For those that have questions lined up, please note that we will be getting into our Q&A. We do have a couple of more questions that we will go through. I know that, there can be a lot of support or there could be support that comes from public institutions, private sector, as well as funding agencies. How do you think these institutions can better support the career aspirations of young people in the arts? How do you think they can get involved, they can connect, they can just find a way to support and elevate young people in the arts? I know Nombuso is ready, because when she starts fixing herself and propping herself, she's about to go in. Nombuso?
Yeah, it's just that, like I said, business and arts, I'm very passionate about that, and I actually love this question. Again, I'd say that public institutions, private sector, I think it would be by creating sustainable economic pathways, and providing those structural mentorships through integrated business education, and also maybe subsidize more workspaces, and through maybe providing tech access through donations of software licenses or hardware, probably studio equipment, and also by hiring young creatives and also funding commercial showcases like your pop-ups, exhibitions, and opening up performance spaces through to these commercial real estate spaces.
Beautiful. Very, very, it makes absolute sense. Michael, yeah?
Yeah, so I was going to add as well. I think, and this is like, I think maybe an opportunity for collaboration between public funders and artists who benefit, or institutions benefit, is I think also just a sense of mutual sense of the longevity of projects. I think that there is sometimes a misstep, but from either side, in the sense that, okay, here's the funding, the project's done, okay, like boxes get ticked and you move on. And I think there is still so much room to creatively figure out how do projects still, how is support ongoing even after funding has been received? How is, whatever that might look like, it's because I think artists often feel like they're left out at sea once they've made their project, and now it's like, okay, what do I do now? Or maybe it gets rejected from a few festivals or in certain spaces, and I think there's a room for more support, perhaps from funding institutions, public spaces, whether it comes in the form of mentorship or networks that can be offered. But I think that's a huge space in which a lot more collaboration can take place, because I know a lot of artists who are kind of just lost out at sea after getting funding. We celebrate that moment, and then what now? And I think that's something that's something that we can problem solve together to create that sense of longevity. Yeah.
From what I'm understanding, what you're saying is that we need to be in a space where the connection is there from the start to the very end, and this marriage literally not only doesn't end in marriage, but it also becomes a family, and it grows and grows.
Yeah. It's not just a quick date and then we never see each other again, Commitments.
I get it completely. So, excuse me. One thing that is very clear is that, as we shift, the whole world is shifting globally, and AI has come into play. I know, Megan, you've touched on that. And a lot of people, not only in the arts sector, a lot of people, even in other sectors, whether it is, financial, whether it is, finance, whether it is technology, everyone is wondering, where is the world going? Where am I going? I mean, you hear young people always wondering, is this the right degree? Is this the right career path? So we obviously have the very same anxiety in the creative arts. Where can we say, or what are the emerging career pathways that young people should be aware of today? Because things, again, changing very fast. You hear young people complaining that, I'm a qualified filmmaker, but I know a lot of work or recognition goes to people that either have huge social media numbers. So everyone is just kind of in a space of, doubt, anxiety, sometimes even frustration. What would you say what's the direction to take? And any of the panelists can take this one. Don't be shy. Michael?
I was just going to add something very, very quick. I read something yesterday. I think it was the musician James Blake, and he just commented on something saying that as of now, this is specific to the music industry, but I think it's across the board. Is that I think there is so much that is not real anymore. You can buy numbers on Instagram or on social media. The stats actually they're not as true as they used to be. I think 10 years ago, if you had 10,000 views on YouTube, you potentially actually had 10,000 people watch your work. But now you can literally, there are ways to fake that, et cetera, et cetera. And his comment was simply this, and it's a very simple but encouraging one. In light of all of that, that gives you a sense that if you're still out here authentically showing up every day, you're doing a good job. Because there's so many people who are, they're taking the easy route. And oftentimes you can be discouraged because the numbers don't show the stats, as you're saying. You've got your influencers, but really a lot of that is not. It's not even that it's not inauthentic. A lot of it isn't even human. A lot of it's done through various algorithms and data sets. So yeah, just to say, if you are an artist and you're plugging away at your field and it feels like you only have 20 people who appreciate your work, that's incredible. Like I think that's and you're finding your audience. So that's
I really like it, Michael. Authenticity will literally put you above the rest because, as you mentioned, over time, we see it all the time where, scandals are coming out that XY influencer was buying bots or was using bots to engage XY influencer. But authenticity will keep you afloat and will basically, attract the right people, the right audience, and the right partnerships towards you. Megan, I know that you also wanted to, have an input in this.
I was so ready.
Go for it.
A lot of it is echoing what Michael just said. Is that basically it comes down to do the work whether people are looking or not. Find your voice. Be true to yourself. And like a couple of years ago, Michael said 10. I'm like 4 years ago, we could not have expected or predicted how disruptive even just TikTok would have been, So I think it's important to be very stable in what it is you are bringing to the table, but also be agile. So if something new comes, be willing to be ready to ride the wave. But also remember, I think it goes back down to, I think what I've said before is at the core of it, art is a way for us to express ourselves and, in my opinion, to serve our community. So know your community, connect with them. There are beautiful platforms on which you can do that, but don't bypass being in a room with real people.
Beautiful. I got that. Be stable, be authentic, be agile, and be ready to ride the wave. Things will come and go, trends will come, pop in and pop out, platforms will happen. But if you stick to your pillars, you are building a solid brand, a solid career, and you are obviously heading towards your vision. Roscoe, anything to add onto this one?
Yeah. I mean, I often get asked the question, why giving children books? Because they got phones and they got other reading devices. But there's nothing better than having a book. There's many lessons when you're receiving that book. It's not just about the reading; it's about responsibility. Looking after it. It's so we love it. We do go with the trends. When people spoke about TikTok and video, Facebook, we have to go with it, but we stick to our actual books. And in the communities we work in, some kids don't have devices or access to network Wi-Fi and things, so we stick to the original with actual books.
I love it. I 100% love it. Yes, Michael?
I just wanted to add to that. I think the work that you guys are doing, Roscoe, is so incredible. I have a young 9-year-old, and when she reads a book, I'm just so aware that and I think this is the power of literature and the power of authentic art. What we're talking about is that it does require something from you, as opposed to just being consumed or entertained by something that is less authentic. I think particularly books, there's a invitation to attention. And you also, I think reading, you begin to realize how distracted you really are, and so you get to work with that. But I think that just to say that for artists, what's really encouraging is that when you do make authentic work and you do find your audience, I think the thing that really stands out is I think real art is something that it costs something to make it, and I don't mean monetary. I mean it costs you something. There's a part of you that goes into it. And again, I think you mentioned Megan earlier, something about something being AI, anti-AI, or like it can't be replicated. I think that's something, again, that is just, at this point, AI is still unable to replicate that authenticity, that one can recognize this took someone's soul. This took a part of their soul to make it. Blood, sweat, and tears, and you see that in literature more than anything, I think, because both as a reader and as a writer, that it takes something, and I think, as an artist, that's an huge encouragement, because when one person recognizes that, it's like I can write the next book then, or I can make the next bit of work. Yeah.
Even I'm encouraged, because what you're essentially sharing is that even though you may feel intimidated, you may feel sidelined because you don't have the numbers, or you're not working with brands XYZ, but you need to just say, nobody can produce what my soul can produce. Nobody can do it the way I do it. So eventually it will actually show. So we have a little bit of time before our Q&A. In fact, 6 minutes to be precise. So the next questions I'm going to ask are really just going to be sharpshooters. I just would like to know, how can the arts be used as a tool for youth empowerment, social change, and nation building rather? And this is to any panelists who'd like to take this one. How can we use the arts as a tool? Roscoe, go for it.
So we started the Cape Flats Book Festival, first of its kind in our community. Being in the literature space, we were fortunate to go to all these elite book festivals, and we just see that a lot of times certain people is not able to afford to go to that festival. So the aim of our festival is bringing some of South Africa's top authors to Mitchell's Plain, but also unknown authors. Because what I discovered is there's lots of people that has written a book, but if you are unknown author, it won't get into some of the top bookstores. So now you're stuck with books in your garage. So we are then giving authors an opportunity to come to this festival, sell your books, talk to people about your stories, because everybody has a story to tell. So for 5 years, we've been having all these authors, illustrators, poets come down, and we have thousands of people come every year to our festival, meeting unknown authors and known authors. So I think that festivals like that is just giving the unknown a platform to showcase their talent.
Beautiful. Thank you, Roscoe. What message would you like to share to young South Africans who are considering a career in the arts? I know one or two, if not all of our panelists definitely have a message.
I'll just repeat exactly what I've just said be it, I mean, it's not even about being authentic, is know that what you have to say and what you have to bring to the table, no matter how strange or weird or wonderful it may seem, stick to that. History is, or the history of whatever art form you work in was literally written by those who decided that their voices mattered and they needed to say something. And so, yeah, just to encourage and be encouraged to be authentic, as I said, regardless of numbers, audience, social media. Just continue showing up. That's the only thing we can ever do, even if we are famous or even if we're not. Just keep showing up every day, regardless. Yeah, keep showing up.
Thank you. Very profound. Keep showing up. What's one piece of advice would you offer to a young South African who is seeking to build a meaningful and sustainable career in the arts? And I think we have already touched on this before. Perhaps let me go to the next question, which is, as the future leaders of the sector, what responsibility do young creatives have in shaping South Africa's cultural landscape? Because with everything, whether success or moving ahead, you do have a responsibility. So what would that responsibility have? Any of the panelists, go for it.
I think it's always the youth who bring the new thing. You know, we're all. I'm 35 this year. I feel like I'm already old news. You know, it's like now my responsibility is to go, hi, those who are new, those who are young, come, let me show you what mistakes I made and what lessons I learned, and let's come be part of this. You know, because it's a beautiful industry and we have such an impact. You know, you just talked about nation building, and if you think about how art and theatre was used in the apartheid years, you know, Kyla Davis posted recently about the Market Theatre Players, the company, and they talked about the eternal pot of soup in either Barney Simon's or Manny Madam's kitchen, and all of these young creators were together making new work, and every single day, whatever you had, like a can of beans or a bit of something, you would put it into this pot of soup. And they were feeding each other, not just with soup, but with their work, with their community, with their friendship. And I think the responsibility that young creatives have now is to work together.
I heard that loud and clear. The responsibility the youth have is to work together, because ultimately we create the soup. That's where the soup actually comes from. Any input, Nombuso? How can as the future leaders, how you know, what responsibility do we have?
I'd say that we hold the core responsibility of preserving innovation, preserving social transformation, and also bridging that historical heritage and the global digital future, you know, because it is happening, whether we like it or not. We have to find ways to align ourselves with what's happening digitally. So I'd say also that, and also being able to tell re-emergent cultural stories of inclusivity, you know, economic growth and social change, and also just being able to export our real, authentic South African stories to international audiences.
Thank you so much, Nombuso. I'm sorry to be a bit disrupted. I guess this is a good sign. There's a bee that's just all around me, and I'm nervous and scared at the same time because that's the last thing I'd like to happen, to be stung by a bee. But I'll take it as a good sign that, what we are discussing is truly vibrating high, and sending good vibes out there into the ether. So I'm just going to ask one last question, and then we are going to be opening up our Q&A. And again, this is a sharpshooter question. Feel free for any panelists to actually take it. Looking ahead, what opportunities and trends do you believe will define the future careers of South Africa's arts and cultural sector? I'll repeat that. What opportunities and trends do you believe will define the future of careers in South Africa's arts and cultural sector? And while we give the panelists a moment to think about it, please feel free to send through your questions, because from this point, we will go straight to Q&A. Any of the panelists to take this one? What opportunities?
I just, yeah,
Yes,
in terms of what might the future look like, and what I hope it might look like is, and this is not me being pessimistic about technology at all, but I'm more just talking about, as I'm repeating the same thing I've said earlier, is that I think there is such a focus on statistics and numbers within the context of social media, and that as being the only vehicle through which your work can be exhibited. And it's just I do hope that as young people, as Megan said, I think this trend of going offline, not even a trend, this, I think, reaction to going offline, I do hope that also begins to shift the work that's being made, and we find more young people meeting and congregating in person and sharing their work, and that audiences are developed organically in new and fresh ways, and that young people can find ways to use that space. Yeah.
Thank you, Michael. Any input from any of the panelists in terms of, where we are heading, what will define the future careers in South Africa? Nombuso?
Yes. Okay. I'm gonna say this also again. For me, it is digital transformation. Digital transformation. We're gonna also have like cross disciplinary collaborations. It's not just gonna be you as an actor now. As a performer, you'll be able to work with graphic designers. So there's a lot that's going to be happening. You're not just going to be a standalone artist, but also that cross disciplinary collaboration. We are also going to see the public and private sectors coming together to fund also the arts, which is already starting to happen. You can see the Oppenheimer Foundation. You see there's Sassel now funding designers and engineers. You see Total Energies, they're also funding creatives. You have First Rand Merchant Bank also. So it is happening. And also I would say that career opportunities in arts administration, whereby arts administrators will be able to connect the artist with capital, And I'd say the one thing that I'm really interested in, I even wrote it down, it's I know that Michael is going to have a problem with this one a bit. But I'm really interested in VR and AR experimental performer. I think it's one of rising trends right now happening, especially with theater, because now you're able to merge theater with technology, but not taking away traditional forms per se of theater, but actually finding ways to merge the two, whereby live actors navigate mixed realities, on stage, using headsets, So I think for me that is wonderful, and it's something that I am really looking forward to.
I love that as well. I just want to say I love that VR and XR. Come on.
Even I'm looking forward to as well. Thank you so much, Nombuso, for that comprehensive response. We are now open for a Q&A to all the panelists. Thank you so much for your wonderful insights, your direction, as well as just your sentiments. And I'm 100% sure that we walk away from this webinar, not only inspired, but also just wanting to partake, to be active, to play an active role in ensuring that we build not only sustainable careers, businesses for ourselves, but we also include those that are around us. Because we look at your work, Roscoe, we look at what you do, Nombuso. It's not only limited to, specifically yourself. It is touching lives, making an impact, and making sure that we build a South Africa that we can all be proud of. So any questions, please do feel free to send them through. We are ready for your questions. Before we wrap up, don't be shy. No one will judge you here. Questions are questions we all learn. Even the bee wants in on this action because it hasn't left the room. So yeah, we am just checking if we do have any questions. We'll give it about a minute or two and see if there are questions. And if not, that is also fine. It means that our panel really did an outstanding job. We left no stone unturned. That's the only reason I'm willing to take in that we left no stone unturned, that there's actually no questions. We'll give it a minute. And then we'll close. Let me just see. Okay. All right. So I just got a message that there is a question via WhatsApp. All right. There is a question coming from Facebook. Is there any chance where one can join Sister Nombuso Wanda's campaign to learn more, grow better, and succeed? So this is directed to you, Nombuso. Is there any way that one can join yourself in any of the work that you do to learn more, grow, and succeed?
Definitely. There's always chance to grow if you want to grow as a person. So yes, if you want to get in touch with me, you can get in touch with me through my socials. It's via my company, of course, because that's what you want. So it is Voices of Different Corners. On Facebook, it is Voices of Different Corners. And Instagram, it is Voices of Different Corners. For now, we just have Facebook and Instagram. But also you can get in touch with me through my email, small caps, everything. It's voicesofdifferentcorners@gmail.com. I am actually looking forward to getting an email or a message from this person, because we are looking at just trying to work with more people, because I myself alone and my team, we can't work alone. So we want more people to be part of this initiative so that we can grow, as South Africa, not just as a company or KZN alone, but we want to grow as South Africa and also take this project internationally, because I feel like there's so much that we can do. So yes, you can get in touch with me through those platforms. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nombuso. And the next question reads, hello, everyone. In an age of digital media where audiences' attention spans are shrinking and short-form content is increasingly dominating how we consume art, what can aspiring artists and art practitioners do to ensure the sustainability of the performing arts and other physical art forms? That's the first part of the question. Short attention span, short content is dominating the social media space. So the question is, what can art practitioners do to ensure the sustainability of the performing arts and other physical art forms?
I want to say, keep showing up. Keep making something for people to attend. Listen to your community, be part of your community, and respond to that. Be willing to, intercede in a way for them. in Cape Town, I'm based in Wellington, so it's a small town just an hour north of Cape Town. But there's a lot of things happening in especially the ballroom scene, where there's a lot of live events happening. People are coming together, and we need to keep doing that. So as an artist, as a young artist, attend theatre, attend events, go to the club nights. Find the people who are making things happen and speak to them. Be part of something, and then figure out how you can either be part of it, or how you can create something that complements that as well.
Thank you, Megan. Michael, I know that you'd like to add, and then we'll come back to you. We'll bring it to you, Nombuso.
Well, I think, I mean, very similar to what Megan just said. I think that we make a mistake it would be a mistake as an artist to, for example, people's short attention spans, for that to dictate the work that I make. I think that would be somewhat of a mistake. I think it always goes back to listening to the voice inside of you and listening to the voice of a community. Those are the voices that will guide you and will sustain, as it has. I mean, human beings have been making art for those two reasons, listening to the self and listening to the community, for thousands of years. And we will continue doing that when the computers can't run anymore, or whatever the case is. I think, yeah, the trends really don't matter in that sense. So I would just say to any artist who's like, oh, should I make shorter work because people can't pay attention, make the work that you want to make, that your community needs, that you need, and keep making it, keep showing up.
Yeah, because the trends come and go. So just stick to your authenticity. Nombuso, I know you'd like to add as well.
Basically, Megan did say it, and Michael. But I just want to add on to something that Megan touched on. And I'd say that we need to do more arts therapy programs. I feel like that is where it all lies. If we able, and by the way, it is a critical skill in South Africa. We don't have a lot of arts therapists. So it's something that also as a career path we should be looking into. So arts therapy programs are very vital, because with arts therapy, you do it in schools, in clinics, in shelters, old age homes, prisons, and rehabilitation centers, and by doing these arts therapy programs, you're not only creating sustainable jobs, but also it's a sense of reminding people basically of what is real and what is not real.
Thank you, Nombuso. That's definitely something to consider. So the second part of the question reads, how do we preserve the value of live, immersive, and long-form artistic experiences in this rapidly changing media landscape? I really think that the responses did cater to this question, to be involved, to stick with your authenticity, and to allow ourselves to really grow and do something new. As Nombuso mentioned, that arts therapy is there to be explored. It's a critical skill. One other question that came through, I'm just checking here.
So, Noluthando,
yes.
Can I add, just jumping on everything you've actually just said, as well as Megan and Nombuso, is that I think one thing that's again, the authentic work can create space for healing, as Nombuso was saying. It's and I think that's something that's the trends, and if one approaches their work purely based on the fact that people's attention is not great, I think that you can sense that. I'll just very quickly, the last project I actually worked with, which was in conjunction with NAC, a kind of live performative theater project, was around the genocide in Gaza, and around any kind of injustice, we're always bombarded with stats and numbers, and the humanity of the violence often dissipates as you constantly just see news headlines and numbers. And that was we saw that as an opportunity to create a kind of sacred space where people came, and literally we turned a space into like an immersive kind of cave almost, and people took their shoes off, they stepped on the ground. And I think that's what authentic work can do in terms of what we're talking about, this authentic healing, the sense of coming together that, again, following the trends just won't take you there.
Thank you for sharing that, Michael. That is very loud and clear. You know, we need to think outside the box. We need to be authentic. We need to work together. And we truly just need to stick to what, you know, comes from our souls. We've now reached the end of this webinar. And before we say our final goodbyes, I just would like a closing remark from each of the panelists. Please just keep it short and simple, and so that we can just stick to our 1 o'clock cut-off time. So Roscoe, any closing remarks, and where can we contact you and find you for those that are interested? You're muted.
Sorry. Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. Read to Rise on all social media platforms. It's Read to Rise. Our website is readtorise.org. Reach out to us. We would love to partner and reach out to as many kids as possible.
Thank you so much. Megan, closing remarks?
I'm so grateful to be here, and I think, for where we're going, have the audacity. I know Musa said that, and I thought to myself, this is the one thing I think the kids must know, is believe in yourself. Do the thing, do what's fun, follow your joy. You can find me on most social media platforms as Meg van Wyk, or under my company, Fruity Licks Productions.
Thank you so much, Megan. Nombuso?
In closing, what I would say is that artistic vision is essential, but the business behind the art is what creates a sustainable long-term career. Treat your art as a business from day one. Thank you so much for having me as a panelist. Thank you to the other panelists, Megan, Roscoe, Michael. I've learned so much from you. Siba, thank you so much for being able to organize such an amazing panel of people. And Notando, thank you so much. And those who would like to reach out, again, it is Voices of Different Corners on social platforms. And if you'd like to reach out personally on my emails, it's voicesofdifferentcorners@gmail.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nombuso. Michael?
Yeah, thank you so much. It's been a fantastic experience. And I say this to myself, I say this to my colleagues here, and then to any kind of audience. Just keep showing up. Keep showing up, whether no one's watching, whether you're watching. Just keep showing up and do the work in front of you. What's actually in front of you? Show up to that. You can. I guess you can see some of my work on Instagram. Michael James Godard 0905.
Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you to every one of you. You have shared some insights. I'm inspired. I've learned a lot. I know that, you know, the possibilities are endless when you keep your mind open, and when you just take a step and stand for something, be part of a community. Thank you to the National Arts Council for having me as your facilitator, for creating this beautiful platform where we conversate, connect, engage, and elevate each other. And you can find me on specifically TikTok as the advocate of self-love. As mentioned, I teach individuals to be great, to believe in themselves. You believe in yourself, then you go out there and you create your art. So that's what I do. And I don't know if Siba would like to officially close the event. Thank you to everyone.
No, thank you, Nolutando. I think we can go ahead and close.
Thank you. Goodbye to everyone, and have an amazing day forward. I'm going to deal with this bee now. Have a great day.